Hello, everybody. Welcome to K-Pro Cow Coffee. Mike, do you have your coffee?
I have my coffee. I got my coffee
Okay.
right here.
I have something close enough to coffee. Coffee with
Mm-hmm.
K-Pro and Cow Thursday night. So welcome, everybody. And Mike's, you have some donuts there, you said, right?
Yeah, I got a couple of those little mini breakfast of champion donuts. I actually went to Dutch Brothers. They have Dutch Brothers coffee out here, but that lie 8 cars were in the drive-through, so I skipped that, and then I made some coffee when I got home. Excuse me while
Nice.
I move my
Okay.
chair.
Okay, so we have some things to talk about tonight. So let's see, we are talking about what are the 9 clues. And I said this on Thor and I wanted to repeat it to everybody. I am confident by the end of this 45 minutes, maybe an hour, we are all going to agree, the entire chat room, Mike and I, on what the 9 clues are. It's going to become all clear. I'm 100% confident that will happen. But then we are going to go into, at the end, we have, I don't know, 5 or 6 little items on things happening in the chase. There has been, I think, an interesting development on eBay, but
Yeah,
one of the eBay auctions is actually ending in just a couple minutes.
right.
So Mike that's the only thing we'll talk about non-content related before we jump into content. So
Right now, I'm going to show it
Mike,
because it ends in
give it
14
to you.
minutes.
14 minutes.
So
14
this
minutes.
is 2019 Forrest Fenn coin number 46 out of 50. This is what I hid for the boots on the ground thing. When I found that, I hid this. In this box was this cow, this coin, this poker chip, and then on the top, if you can see right there, I wrote the email address, Cowlazars at gmail.com. So Mindy D out here in Vegas, she found it. She put it up on eBay. She's looking for some money for boots on the ground. So if you guys just go to eBay and put in Forrest Fenn, you will see this, and it ends in 14 minutes. So if coin 46 goes for $300 or less, I think that's pretty awesome. That's a pretty good deal. So if anybody's interested, there it is. Just wanted to put the
Yeah,
word out there because it's going to end
nice.
in 14 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, so we wanted to say that before the whole thing ends, so you missed it all. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, that's one to jump into. There is another coin that is already taken off in a big way, but we're going to talk about all that at the end
Yeah.
because, like Sledneck, who just got in the room and said, "What's up, clue counters? We're going to be counting some clues tonight." And I think it's interesting because I did post this various places on what are your 9 clues, and my goodness, some people don't even think where Warm Waters Halt is a clue, nor the
What?
Blades, nor
Wait,
Homa
wait,
Brown. No.
wait. Oh, she's on the back. All right. Newbie Nancy is on the back. All right. Never mind.
Actually, it's one of our biggest bets, so I'm sure
Right.
he'll be in the room soon. So, I will say there are a couple things. So, so Mike and I decided not to talk at all about this. He was able to do some research. I've been tied up with some personal things, so I was not able to. I have Terry scan up. Some people have asked me why. I think there's 5 clues that I hope we can all agree to, but if we can't, that will be crazy to me, but
Never
sure.
know.
And I don't think we should go in chronological order because I think some things are more obvious. So we will talk about each one, and then we will jump into what do we think. Best sound balance ever. That's
Hey,
awesome.
we could give it a thumbs up
Nice.
for the audio. And I'm emailing Forrest the link right now in case he wants to
And
watch.
this is the last, I will tell you, this is going to be the last show that I will have in this space. So
What?
I am
Yeah,
so
where's your
glad.
map? Your map's gone.
Everything, there's some things gone, and I need a new space. And it's funny because now that we got the sound figured out, where
Oh, you're leaving.
I'm
Yeah. We get to do it all
yeah.
over again.
So anyway, so yeah, I was on the 3rd story here, and now I'm here in the downstairs office. I'm just gonna mix it up. I
Oh,
just know I need
third
a new space.
story. Hey.
Stop it.
Just
Well,
kidding.
it's like the man cave. That was the man cave. No man's here, but there's a man cave up there. So anyway, okay. So yeah, you'll see me in a new space, and I'm gonna deck it out a little different. I think I'm gonna work on that. So anyway, so welcome everybody. So why don't we jump right into content because that's what we do on Coffee with Cowlazars on Thursday nights. So and Tony, we don't know if he's watching, but he does watch I'd say pretty often, or make some comments here and there. So we
Forest?
watching, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
I
I
just
don't think
emailed him
he'll.
the link. I don't know if he watches or not,
Yeah, I don't
everybody,
think,
but I'd
and I
let him
don't
know we're
think
on live.
I don't think he watches the whole time. But anyway,
Right.
we say hello. We'll say hello to him, whether he's there just in spirit or not. So
So if everybody wants to say hi to Forrest in chat, now would be the time to do it right now.
hi,
Yeah.
Forrest.
How are you? I hope you're doing well.
The collective hello.
Mm,
So, okay, so let's start with I think the most obvious, but maybe that will not be the case because I already know somebody disagrees with me. Um, can we say so? Let's Mike, you and I can discuss, and the first ones will be easier, and then we'll get to more difficult. But where warm waters halt, can we agree that either begin at where warm waters halt, where warm waters halt, but that is
yeah.
a one of the 9 clues.
No, that is the first clue. Not only one of the 9 clues, that's the first clue, right? Because that's what Forrest said. I mean, if you're not going to believe that, I just think you should go do something else. But I mean, everybody has a right to
Well,
their opinion. But
there's
beginning
many
where warm water salt is the first clue.
there's many people that believe in the 9 sentence theory and
Yeah,
9 sentence
I know, but they're
poem
wrong.
theory. So,
So
and you don't have the
I
check. I
know,
don't have
I
the check,
know, I
but I
know.
do have to say, Forrest has said this one. So I will say, let's at least say, for the first one, um, where warm waters halt. I think we both can agree that is a clue.
Hmm.
So we have our first. We all agree. Does
Hey, it's
anyone?
easy. Boom.
This is, we
We're gonna
might
be
be
done
done
in
in about 5
9
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Should I show the poem while we're going through this, or no? You think it's
Sure, sure.
necessary? All right. I
Yeah.
can try and split my screen. Let me
Okay,
see.
so we have number one. Number one is now in the bag. Where warm water salt. Okay.
It's easy.
So, and
All right.
gosh, everybody sure did. We have lots and lots of hellos to Forrest. So, and thank yous. And okay. So the next will be, in my opinion, is Canyon Down. I think there's a canyon right next to where warm water's halt that you have to go down. And down could be relative. Down, some people think it's higher in elevation or whatever. I just think the next one is a canyon. So,
Give me 1 second. Sorry. Go ahead. No, keep talking. I'm good. Yeah.
well, what say you, Mike Cowlazars?
Begin at where warm water salt's clue number 1. Well, after you go
Yeah.
through yours, I'm going to say a couple things about what I believe. But yes, I've struggled with Canyon Down only because if where warm waters halt, that geographic location, I'm standing there, I stuck my toe in it, I did whatever, I know I'm in the right location, and there's one canyon that goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that obvious that you have to follow it? In other words, is that a clue? It's not like multiple choice. Where do I go? I'm going to go down that canyon. So,
Well, if that wasn't in the poem, maybe you wouldn't go down that
well, that's
canyon.
true. But to me, it's a direction. Oh, so I've always been under the impression that each clue is a geographic location. They are actual 9 different locations you're going to get to the
I agree.
end. So
I
I
agree.
guess the canyon would be a location. To me, that line is more of a direction. Take it in the canyon down, which for me means if it's a canyon with water, you follow the water. Down means go downstream. If it's a road, what if it's Canyon Road? That's a possibility, right?
I actually
Down
think
would be
it's a
south.
canyon.
If that's to
I think
me,
it's a
it would
canyon
be a real
because he says
canyon.
simplify. I actually think it's a canyon. Now,
Okay.
Mike, just to let you know, I
Mm-hmm.
am seeing on my iPad the
Mm-hmm.
poem. I am seeing on our Zoom Mindy's um, 7 minutes to go. So I just
And
want
that's
you.
okay. So they see the poem, so that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't
I
know
just
why
wanted
that
you to
is,
know.
but it is. So it's the way
Okay.
I have OBS set up,
I can
probably.
see like your secret stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. So 7
Okay.
minutes. I'll just show this real quick. 7 minutes left, and it jumped to 305 for coin number 46. So to
Oh,
me, it's
wow.
exciting.
Okay.
I like watching auctions when they end. So
Yeah. Okay,
all right.
so we at least agree that whether you call it a hint or a clue, but that's
Mm-hmm.
number 2 for me. I'm just gonna say
Okay,
that's
and
number
we're doing K-Pro's clues right now, so that's why I'm typing this out the way you've got it. Right.
2.
So
Yeah.
how about not far, but too far to walk?
Okay, I'm gonna skip that one for now because right now for me, no matter what solve I have, and I think every solve should have 5 of the 9, and then I vary. So I'm gonna jump
What?
to
Okay.
I well, for those of us that have been boots on the ground and have
Oh,
had
ouch.
several
All
solves,
right.
ding,
Right.
that have had several solves, I can tell you now that I've had several solves, there's 5 clues that are absolutely on all of them, and then there's some that are not. So, okay. So the next one for me would be Home of Brown. So
Okay.
he has
Clue
talked.
number 3,
Clue
right?
number 3, he has
Okay.
talked about Homa Brown. He supposedly has said to a searcher, Homa Brown is not brown trout. So if he says Homa Brown is not brown trout, that would mean that Homa Brown is an actual clue, right?
Yes, I believe that Homo Brown is a clue. That's
Okay.
correct. I agree with you. Homo Brown is definitely a clue. I think it has to be, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
but
So,
you realize you totally skipped the first stanza, right?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You know
All
that
right.
Forrest skipped the first stanza when he told us the first clue
Yeah,
is
that's true.
beginning
He
to.
sure did, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Okay.
I just listened to the band. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is I'm gonna skip for now. I'm gonna go back to it. Meek, Nye, Paddle, Creek, Heavy Loads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to Water High.
So you said you're going to skip a couple and just go to Water High?
I'm gonna go to skip a couple because I'm gonna
Okay.
go over my
Okay.
5.
Gotcha. Oh, I see. You're going out of order. So this is a
I'm go
clue, not necessarily clue number 5, but you think it is a clue. I gotcha.
right. I
Okay.
have 5 that I think are for various reasons
Mm-hmm.
the ones that I think will be important.
Okay.
Okay, so okay, I'm just going to say why it is, and people can agree or not agree with it, and
Mm-hmm.
I hope it doesn't blow up everywhere. So, if you all remember, about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, we had Scott Conway on,
Mm-hmm.
and I emailed Forrest at the time, and I said, Scott has, Scott, and this is back, and we were conversing about lots of things, and especially shows coming up. And I said, I want to be very respectful of Scott, but I want to be very like a reporter, like someone that's going to go back and forth
Yeah.
with him
Mm-hmm.
and be respectful, but very content related. How would you suggest that I go about that? And he was so wonderful. He emailed back and said, I would just keep a question and answer going. Why don't you ask him, where is your warm waters halt? Where is your blaze? Where is your waters high?
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on and gave me some other suggestions of keeping it going and not being negative and all of that, which was fabulous. That is when I realized by him saying that, those 3 are solid for me. And Waters High was not in one of my like solid 5.
You're saying
And
Forrest told you this in an email?
yeah, about Scott, it wasn't
No,
related
I
to
got you.
are each of these a hint, but this was something when we were prepping. Remember, we were prepping for the Scott
Mm-hmm.
Conway.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I went, oh, wow, that means water high. If he's saying warm water's halt, blaze, ask him where his warm water halt is blaze, water high, have him work
Oh, that's
through,
interesting. Okay.
all of that.
That's
So that is when very quickly, oh, water's high hit my list that I will not have it on my list. And so
okay.
I asked, and if you remember, I asked Scott, like, where is your, he went through each one actually in a lot more detail than I thought we were going to. So that is
Right.
one for me. And then the last one that I will say is solid in every solve is the blaze. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been asked, is the blaze
He's
one object? And he has said in a word, yes. Well, then that confirms that blaze is one of those.
well, he's
Um,
also said the blaze is a clue. He said the words because the blaze is a clue. He said that in an interview. Yeah, the blaze is a clue. Everybody, trust us.
yeah, just trust it. Don't listen to anything else. Just trust us. Okay. So there is the 5 that I would say out of the 9 that I'm going to say no matter
I
what
see 4.
happens, those 5 are solid for me. Um,
Okay.
then I have others that are, I do think like heavy loads. I do think Nye. I do think Meek. I mean, there's a few others. I don't have compelling evidence of why. So I'm just going to say these are the 5 that I say I feel there is a reason for me saying this is as factual as I get
Mm-hmm.
on evidence of why I think those 5 are there. The rest, I just have my opinions because everyone's entitled to an opinion,
That's
like
right.
I say. So, Mike, do you want to go through yours, and then we can
Yeah.
go and chat room. Make sure to put for me to see it. If you have an ampersand and Cowlazars or K-Pro, and I'll try to catch you guys when we're talking about each one or questions you have along the way. So
JBR Princess says Forrest also said, "Don't get stuck on the blaze." What I think he meant was you got to figure out where warm waters halt first. Don't get stuck on the blaze. Don't get ahead of yourself. But that's the
right.
way I take it. And
Yes. Yeah.
Joel said, "Did we invite the Count from Sesame Street? He'd be helpful. We needed your graphs and charts, Joel. Maybe for the next one."
And those aren't boring. How are statistical regression analysis and how is that boring?
Right. So
That's funny.
looks like Mindy's auction ended, and it ended at 305. So $300 for boots on the ground.
Right.
So Mindy, congratulations. All right.
Nice.
Okay, so let me wipe out your clue list a little bit. So I know a lot. I'll just say this to the people who say, "Oh no, there's a clue in the first stanza." Well, there isn't, because Forrest said, "Begin it where warm waters halt" is the first clue. Then people say, "Well, why is the first stanza there? It makes no sense. Like, why do you put it in?" Well, it's the beginning of the poem. Forrest, if you guys notice, the
Can you make this
first
bigger? Because that's Lori James is asking.
the poem.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me do it like this. The first stanza, if you guys have noticed the tense of the first stanza, it says as I. Forrest Fenn is talking about himself in the very first stanza, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hopefully that's big enough. As I have gone alone in there, he's not giving us any directions yet. He's not telling us what to do yet. Forrest Fenn is saying what he did when he hid the treasure in the first stanza. That's why he uses the word I. So that tells me the first stanza, we just delete it. That's not even part of the. That's not even our directions.
He said, do not discount any words in his poem. I think that it might be a hint, but not maybe a bold-faced clues, but it would be a hint.
It's not one of the 9 clues, in my opinion. And what we're talking about is the 9 clues. So that's why I
Okay, so
disregard it.
when I had the Nez Perce solve, the first clue was where warm waters halt, which was the first battle.
Right.
But if you remember, Chief Joseph started at his father's grave, as I go alone in there with my treasures bold, his father's grave. And then he walked and got to the first battle and did the battle. I thought the first stanza was a precursor to get to the first battle. So I don't delete it. My goodness gracious, that's
I delete it. I'm focusing on the 9 clues. Now, if I'm in when I get to where warm waters halt, I go, "Oh, the first stanza does fit," or I figure something out. The poem's there. I'm not discarding it just for the sake of discussion to make it easier. I deleted the first stanza because I don't think one of the 9 clues is in there. Okay. Now, before I get into the actual 9 clues, and we're going to go over an hour, I can already tell you. So first, I got to thank Christy. Christy, thank you, because you made me do something I haven't done in a long time, and that is look at the poem. Actually, study the poem in a hard and maybe concise way. We go live and we've had panels and we're talking about things, but I haven't really got back to the poem in quite a while. It's probably been a couple months. So since our last vlog, I actually pulled out the poem. I got like 8 pages of notes right here. Ooh. I actually pulled out the poem and I did a little study, a little bit of homework. Okay. So, and this is what I came up with. See what you guys think. So that first stanza, Forrest talking about what he did. That's why he uses the word I. It's not directions to us. I think there's 9 clues. There are 9 areas on a map we need to go to. And at the very end is the chest. Okay. Following me so far? Okay.
I am. We're waters halt. 9 is the chest.
Right.
You have analyzed the poem. You have done some research and analysis. I am so impressed.
Begin it is, of course, he's telling us that's our first instruction. But let's skip that for a minute. If you go down to the 5th stanza, again, Forrest switches it up. He goes back to, "So why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek?" The answer I already know. I've done it, tired, now I'm weak. He's done with the instructions. In my opinion, the 9 clues are in stanza 2, 3, and 4. Because in stanza 5, he switches back to I. So what do? We delete it. Get it out of here.
Oh my gosh.
We get rid of it when we're talking, only when we're talking about the 9 clues. We don't disregard it totally. Okay? Now in the last,
and he did have that quote when they read that first stanza, and they said, "Is there a clue in there?" And he's like, "I think there's 3 or 4." So yes, I agree with you that there's extra clues in some stanzas and maybe not as many in another. And I know we're going to take a lot of heat for this, but I would say if we're looking for straight clues,
I thought the stanza was stanza 2 they were talking about when he made that comment. The where warm waters halt stanza.
I'm going to look it up as you
that's what I thought. He said, "I think there's 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever it is he said." They were talking about where warm waters halt because somebody was trying to ask him. I think they were trying to think, is only Homa Brown and WWH 2 clues, and they said it sounds like 3 or 4. And but again, even if Forrest said that, he could be joking. To me, it doesn't mean there's that many in there, but just because he says it sounds like it to me. So let's go to the last stanza, since we're talking about who each
Okay.
stanza is related to. So
Oh, if
hear
you
me
delete
all and
them,
listen good. What?
you're gonna delete it. I'm
Forrest
scared.
says, point, what? Must listen good. Oh, is that back to Sotheby's? Are we back to that one again? So hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth the cold. Now, Forrest is talking to us. He's saying here, now he's talking about himself when he says, hear me all and listen good. But then he switches and says, your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you title of the gold. So he is talking about us, but to me, those aren't directions. He's not telling us where to go in the very last stanza. He's saying, hey, listen good, meaning look at the stanzas above it. Read the entire poem. Your effort will be worth the cold. We're out there. Okay. If you're brave and in the wood, I give you title to the gold. And then there's another reason why I think all 9 clues are in stanza 2, 3, and 4. So
Okay.
what I do is I just get rid of it, delete it.
Oh my
There we
gosh.
go.
Okay, I would like to add to the last stanza
Uh
because,
huh.
well, actually, the last 2 stanzas.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he uses the word trove and he uses the word title to the gold
Mm-hmm.
in both of those stanzas for legal reasons. And I
Right.
think so that's another piece that is not related to the 9
Right.
clues.
Right. It's helpful. It matters. I just don't think it's one of the 9 clues.
Right.
And
So, okay, so we're down to, we've thrown
we've
out half
narrowed
the
it
poem.
down to right. And check the. And I'll mention one other thing. So
Oh, and I found the quote when we're ready
yeah,
for it.
go ahead. No, go ahead, because people are gonna want to know.
It says the clues in the poem are in my book, and it hints. Oh, wait, the clues are in the poem, and my book has hints that will help a person with the clues. The book won't take you to the treasure chest, but the book will help you with the clues in the poem. Then the reporter said, "So maybe a little key to the clues. So maybe a little key to the clues and the poem." Then he said, "There are 9 clues in the poem, and if you can figure out these clues, they will take you to the treasure chest, and you can have it for you to find." Well, some of some of the clues maybe are things that people are locally would know. You say, quote, begin it where worm waters halt and take it in the canyon down, not far but too far to walk, put in below the home of Brown. That seems like a couple clues to me. He said it sounds like 3 or 4 to me. Begin it
Right.
where worm waters halt,
Mm-hmm.
canyon down, home of Brown.
Right. But just because Forrest says it sounds like 3 or 4 to me, I don't think it means there's 3 or 4. I think that's Forrest
Okay, but you
messing with
can't say
people.
that and then say where warm waters halt is the first clue because he said it. You've got to either like
No,
believe him or
but
not.
the difference is he says it sounds like. He didn't say it was. There's a
Uh,
minute difference there. I think it's Forrest just
Fenn
messing with
speak.
somebody.
You speak Fenn.
Okay.
I don't.
So when it says take the chest and go in peace, I think go in peace is related to title to the gold, meaning there's something in that chest that's going to take care of the ownership issues and everything you're all worried about. So that's the go in peace part. But I just thought I'd mention that.
Okay.
So the last part is him telling us, hear me all and listen good. Your effort will be worth it if you're brave and in the wood. But I don't think there's directions there. I don't think brave and in the wood is somewhere we're looking for. We already have the chest by this point. What?
Okay.
What?
I,
Oh,
I'm okay with that. I
okay.
don't know. I when you say we're deleting it, it just makes me.
We're deleting it. We're
I
simplifying.
I'm
Simplifying.
I
All
have
right.
a my heart just
Check
goes
it out.
woo for a minute.
So
Okay.
here's the other thing which I thought was interesting. Do you remember how many words are in the poem, Christy?
166.
166.
What do I win?
Yeah, right. And do you know how many words are in stanza 2, 3, and 4?
No.
83. Exactly half of 166. Which I thought was kind of interesting. And I don't think it's accidental. So, in the 3 stanzas where I think the 9 clues are, that's exactly half of the poem, word wise. It's 83. The other stanzas 1, 4, and 5 are 83 as well. So, I think that might be Forrest's little way of saying you take this poem in half, that these 3, you cut it in half. Half of the
What if he
poem.
what if he comes up with a scrapbook tomorrow that says it's the half?
Don't cut something in half. That's right. So I think he's saying half of the poem is instructional with 9 clues, and the other half of the poem is just me kind of saying what I did, what you should do, title to the gold. That's just me. But I did think it was interesting that stanza 2, 3, and 4 are exactly half the words in the poem. So all right, let's get to the actual clues. Okay.
Okay, and
All
you know
right.
what? You should just not even look at the chat room, Mike,
Yeah, I'm
because
not. I'm not.
the chat room is going to be really and they're actually throwing shade at me, and I'm not even saying anything. But go
Nah.
ahead.
All
I'm
right.
not going to blow them up. You know what? We don't know, so I'm going
Yeah,
to take
this
a
is all
different.
opinion, guys. I'm not going to
Yes,
do the everything we
everything's
say is
opinion.
our
And
opinion.
for
You
those
guys
of
should
you
know
saying
that.
that we're totally wrong or Mike's totally wrong, where's your treasure chest? So, yes, Joe Esto says, "Don't mess with my poem."
I'm not messing with the poem. I mean,
You've
I'm
deleted
not messing
entire
with the poem.
sections. I'm shaking. I'm
I'm not
shaking.
messing with the poem. I'm simply pointing out in a easy manner which what the 9 clues are. So begin at where warm waters halt. That is clue number 1.
Okay.
All right, and where warm waters halt is a physical place. That's geographic location number 1. Now it sounds
Can you
like you
dip
can
your
find
toe in
it.
it?
Yeah, right. It sounds
Sorry.
like you can find it on the map because of the whole little girl from India um,
I agree.
question and answer. Okay,
Okay.
take it in the canyon down. Now the canyon, I guess, is also a geographical point, a
Mhm.
location. It's a physical canyon out there. So all right, I'll
Yep.
give that to you. That is clue number 2. I don't know why I'm not staying red here.
Hey, Jay says we know nothing. Exactly. You guys can just, you know what? This is going to be Mike and I chatting about this, and you guys can just make fun of us for the whole time.
Now, not far but too far to walk is not a clue, in my opinion.
Not
He's
a clue,
simply
Mike.
telling us don't drive, no, don't walk, drive. It's too far to walk. It's not a geographic location. When we go down the canyon, whether it's Canyon Road or we're driving along a road along a real canyon, filled with water or not, he's just saying it's too far to walk. You got to drive. It's not
Okay.
a clue. It doesn't take you to another point on the map.
I'll just say it's not a
It's a
clue. I will
distance.
go as far with you
It
there, and that's what we're
is
talking about.
a distance. Okay. It's a distance because he's saying drive, and then it's a way for him to say, hey, if you're walking, you're never going to find it because you have to drive. But
Alan Kay said Sean Dotson's head just exploded. I love that. I love that. Okay. I'm
he's
sorry.
probably
Keep
not
going.
even
Okay.
watching anyway.
We are 1 and 2.
Right.
And then okay, so we are in agreement so far. So I mean,
Hmm.
okay, keep going. Go, Mike. Go, Mike.
All right. Line 2. Out of our 3 stanzas, this is line sentence number 2. Put in below home of Brown. So we found where warm waters halt, and we're driving down the canyon, whether it's a road or a road along a real canyon. Then we have to put in below the home of Brown. That is the place where we stop. The home of Brown, whatever that is, whatever that means, put in means park. I don't think it means get in the water. Like people are like, put in is a water term. I think it's a parking lot. I think it's either a rest area or you just pull off on the side of the road. So put the home of Brown is clue number 3. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, we're totally on the same page.
And everybody should agree because it's correct. Okay, here we go.
Oh my gosh, the room is like I don't think there's one person that agrees. So that's what I love about
Is that
this.
right?
So, but I like your train of thought, and I have some opinions, but I'm going to wait to
Yeah,
the end. I
yeah.
want you to walk all the way through it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I think the 83 words, exactly half of the poem, is interesting for stanza 2, 3, and 4. But anyway, uh, so we're driving. We're driving down a road, and then we have to put in below the home of Brown, which means park. Put in, drive off the road and park. All right. So clue number 3 is another point on our map,
Okay.
the home of Brown. Then now we've parked, right? And we're standing there and we're looking around and we're like, well, now what? Well, where you park, I would hope there's a trail or there's somewhere to go. You're just not out in the middle of the forest. If there's a parking area, there's probably a trail or somewhere to walk, right? So from there, it's no place from the meek. So I like how he says from there, implying that you move, go somewhere else, because from where you put in, you've got to walk to somewhere else. Walk to where it's no place for the meek. I think of it as a clue in that it's telling you where to go, another location, but I think it's a play on words. So what if when you park at Home of Brown, there's Braveheart Trail? So no place for the meek would mean go on Braveheart Trail, right? The opposite of meek, you could say, is strong or courage or however you want to word it.
Or like Mary Brown's. Uh, okay, there's a parking lot, and then there's Mary Brown, Mary Culver, Mary's
Huh?
grave that's in Yellowstone next to Ojo Caliente. There's a grave right there. That's Meek. So
Okay.
I can see your point. That would
Yeah.
fit there. Okay.
So he's telling us where to go once we park at Home of Brown. From there, it's no place for the meek, and maybe that's also a confirmer clue that you are in the right area. I think it's a play on words, but I also think it's telling us where to go.
Okay.
All right. So that is clue number 4. All right, so we're going down that trail, or we're looking around the area that is no place for the meek, and he says the end is ever drawing nigh. Now, a lot of people said nigh means to the left, right? So to me, that's telling us where to look, but I don't think that's one of the clues. I don't think it's a physical
Oh.
place, because how do you stop to the left?
So this is like more of a directional thing,
It's a
kind of like a
directional thing.
distance.
Again, it's
Mm.
not a distance. This is a direction. He's saying, look to the
Mm.
left. As you go along your trail or your path or wherever it is you are, that's no place for the meek, look on the left. Maybe it is a cemetery, or I know it's not in a cemetery, etc. But wherever you are, look on the left side, okay? The end is ever drawing nigh. So it's there somewhere. You got to find it. The next clue tells you where to go, which is there'll be no paddle up your creek, which is clue number 5. If I can type,
No
we're going
paddle.
to get this
Okay, so
done. Yeah,
no
no
paddle.
paddle up your creek. Now I know
Now, do
everybody
you have an
thought,
interpretation of what no paddle is? Is it like a dried
well,
up creek bed
right,
or?
right. That's possibility number 1, is that it's a creek bed that has no water. Well, that would be obvious. There's no paddle because there's no water. Or maybe it's a creek that has water, but no paddle means go over it. If there's a bridge where the home of Brown is, and when I go to the no place of the meek, there's a bridge that goes over the creek. I think no paddle up your creek could mean take that bridge.
Okay, so hold on a
You're
second.
not going in
Sakara
the
is saying,
water because
let's
you have
go
no
back to
paddle.
the last one.
Huh?
How is direction not a clue? Is what he's asking. If you're saying nigh is to the left, that helps you. Why is that not a clue in your mind?
Only because I'm going on the assumption, and I realize it's an assumption, that the 9 clues are 9 specific points.
Okay.
So a
Okay. So
clue is a
like you want to
point,
look at. Yeah.
right?
Okay.
The end
Got
is
it.
ever drawing nigh, and not far but too far to walk, are not physical points on a map or physical locations where you know where to stop. It's a
Got it.
direction and it's a distance.
Okay.
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 All right. Now, what I don't know if we're going to end up with 9 clues by the end. Let's see. What if we're short, or what if we have too many left over?
Oh, we'll make it up. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
right. We'll make it up. We'll try the wheels. Clue 7. No, I'm just
oh, you know
kidding.
what? People are
I'm
already
just
asking
kidding.
about that. So,
I'm
oh,
just kidding.
William brings up. So, if you're saying no paddle is a bridge is a man-made structure, isn't it?
The treasure chest isn't under the bridge. The clues can be a man-made structure. They could
No,
be.
I
Why?
don't agree.
Why? Did he
By
ever say that?
by Cynthia Meacham's book.
Mm-hmm. And what does it say? See, she never emailed me back, so I don't know the exact quote. Do you know it? Do you know
I
what it
do
is?
not have it in my head. It's packed right now in a box, so
Okay.
I don't.
Well,
So.
we need Cynthia to come on. A lot of people who may not have read Cynthia's book, Forrest told her something about the 9 clues, and we need to get her to come on the show and explain it, because that is interesting. So you're right. If that is true, that each of the 9 clues are not man-made objects, then it wouldn't be a bridge, but it could be.
But it's still a clue.
Yeah. No paddle up your creek could mean walk along the creek, along the trail that runs along the creek. You're not in the water.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're going along a creek because there's no paddle. Or it's a dry creek bed and we are in the creek, but there's no paddle because there's no water.
Sakar says it could be a natural bridge.
It could be of rocks, maybe. Yeah. So
okay.
Just like rocks you can step across to walk across. That's true.
Okay.
So then heavy loads. So now we're there. We're at a creek of some kind, and there's heavy loads and water high. Well, if there's no paddle up the creek because of no water, how is there heavy loads and water high? Now, a lot of people think water high could be a waterfall, and it could. I mean, it's possible. Heavy loads, big boulders. If there's big boulders in the water, and there's some kind of maybe not an actual waterfall, but what if the water pools up and just kind of spills over rocks? That could be water high, right? So I think as we go along the creek, as we go along the trail that goes along the creek, we're going to see heavy loads and water high. He's telling us to look for 2 things, and those are 2 points.
Okay, that's 2
in the creek.
points.
So I think these could actually be clue 6 and clue 7.
Oh my goodness gracious!
So heavy loads could be 1 clue, and water high could be the other. It's possible. I mean, until I'm there, we can always readjust, but that's possible. Now, does heavy loads and water high mean the same thing, the same feature that's in the creek? That could be. It could. Maybe the heavy loads, the boulders, cause the water to go high, to pool up. Maybe it's just 1 clue. Until we know what that means, we won't know. So we're going along this trail that's along a creek that has water in it, and we see heavy loads and water high. And now it's if you've been wise and found the blaze. So I think the blaze, we know blaze is a clue because he has said that, and I think that is clue number 8.
Now, do you rule out wise? Like, okay, I had a blaze, and a blaze was right next to wisdom, which is wise, a city named Wisdom or a town named Wisdom.
Right.
Do you think, do you rule out wise, or do you think these other words are helpful and pointers?
Yeah. It could be a play on words, or he could just be saying, "Hey, if you figured it out, if you've been wise, if you figured out the poem." It could be both, and we're never going to know until we're actually there. So I agree. It could be. It could be a hint. It could be a confirmer. It could be an actual clue. What if you're going along the trail and there's a sign that says Wise Campground or Wise whatever? You know what I mean? There's an actual place called Wise. Well, that's another point on our map, our imaginary
Okay.
Forrest Fenn treasure map. If Wise is an actual place, Wise Overlook. You know what I mean? There's things
Yeah.
that are named, so it could
Like
be.
the town of wisdom. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think of it more narrower, a more smaller to pinpoint. But you're right. Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Okay. We're on number 8. We're number 8. We're
Number
all but
8.
like picking up the chest at this point.
Right. And then look quickly down. So if you found the blaze, whatever in the heck that is, in a single word, yes, it's one single object that we're looking for as we go along the creek. The water's on the left-hand side. We see the heavy loads. We see the water high. We're looking for the blaze, and you find it. Wherever it is it on a rock face? Is it hanging from a tree? Is it, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is,
Okay.
you found it. That's clue number 8. That's a physical point where you stop. When you find
Okay.
the blaze, you stop. You look
Yeah.
quickly down. Now, luckily, we know the treasure chest is not in water, because I think a lot of people are like, it's in the river, right? But Forrest has come out and said it's not in water.
Right.
So instead of looking to the left where the river, where the creek is, it's to the right. The blaze marks it somehow, some way. So I think, what did I put in my notes? I think you look quickly down, your quest to cease. But again, I think that's a direction. I don't think that's a clue. He's just telling you to look down from
Okay.
the blaze.
Okay. Another direction. I like
Yeah.
you're consistent throughout. Okay.
And then Tari Scant with Marvel Gaze, I think that's clue 9. But I don't know how. In other words, when you look down from that blaze, hopefully Tari Scant with Marvel Gaze is going to make sense. And what Rudy B, sent me an email and said, scant is a cleft inside a rock. It's like a masonry term for a cut inside of a rock, which I didn't never knew that before. When I look up the definition of scant, I don't see that as a definition. But he said, no, that's a masonry term. So if the blaze is on a rock face and we look quickly down and there's some kind of cleft or there's some kind of indentation in that rock, maybe it's all the way in the back. You're not going to see it unless you have a flashlight or until you put your hand in and look around. Maybe that's what Tari Scant could mean. In other words, I think that is clue 9, and when you're there, it'll make sense. When you're actually there, looking down from the blaze, I think it'll make sense. And then once you pull it out, it's simply take the chest and go in peace. And you get to backtrack all the way through the clues to your car. So what do you think,
Okay.
Caper? Honest opinion. Let me have it.
Well, very close. Like my go in peace is when Chief Joseph said he's going to be going in peace. He's tired and he's weak and he is going to be going in peace. That was
Is that
the
specialized knowledge or no? To
it
know the
could be,
whole
and that's
story.
it's a dead solve for me, and I will. But that was actually go in peace was one in one of my. I mean, I've had
Yeah.
3 or 4 really serious solves, and that was one of mine. But okay, so somebody said in the chat room, take the canyon down. That could be directional
Right.
if you're.
Listen good. Just said canyon down's a
Yeah,
direction, so it's not clue 2. But canyon is a
but
physical place.
canyon. Yeah,
Down is the direction, but canyon is a physical place. If I'm at where Warm Waters Halt and there's a canyon that goes that way and a canyon that
yeah,
goes that way and there's a canyon that goes that way, maybe canyon down means south. Take the canyon that goes south. If there's
yeah.
only one canyon, go down could mean the way the direction the water flows. But
Well,
canyon is a real
right.
point on a map
I
and
like
a
I like
named
that.
location.
So let's go by stanza. I like
Mm-hmm.
begin at where warm water's halt. I agree with you. Canyon
Mm-hmm.
down. I agree with you. I agree with you. Not far, but too far to walk is not. It's more just a.
I really think he's saying, "Hey, you got to get in your car." He doesn't want people
I don't.
walking forever because he's like,
I
"You're
don't.
not going to find it by walking." And here's another thought. Let me run this by you real quick.
Yes.
If we're Warm Waters Halt and you're taking it in the canyon down, what if you have to go to the other side of the canyon? In other words, too far to walk isn't a distance; it's an impossibility. You've got to get in your car and drive all the way around to the other side of the canyon in order to go that way. Does that make sense or
well,
no?
I do, but I actually think it's like a straight. He said it's like consecutive.
Well,
So
that
I
would.
don't.
Well, in other
I
words,
don't
the
think
home of Brown is on the other side of the canyon that you
right.
can't
I
walk
just don't think
across.
of
So.
circlebacks. I
Oh,
always think
okay. All right.
by like in the perfect world. I don't have the right solve,
Okay.
obviously at this
Well,
point.
we're all
So okay, we've thrown out stanza 1. We just deleted it for the sake of this discussion.
Because there's 83 words in half of the poem, and these are the
Exactly.
83,
That
the
is
important
why
half, right,
I think.
Forrest?
Okay, I have to tell you the 83 word thing. I think is silly, but I
But it's
appreciate how
true. Somebody's going
it
to
is
count it. It's
true.
true.
It is true. Well, and I'll just take your word for it's true, even if it is true. Oh, okay, hold on. I am getting.
And somebody count the letters. I want to know how many letters are in stanza 2, 3, and 4, and how many letters are in stanza 1, 5, and 6. I didn't have time to do that, but now wouldn't that be something if it was the same number of letters as well? Although I think
Okay,
that
so
might be a little crazy.
here is. Let me
Yeah.
read it first, and then I'll give him
Will you get an
credit.
email?
I did, and I read it because I asked someone in chat about not being associated with the 9 structure, not being with any of the 9 clues. Here is the question, Mr. Fenn. When you said not associated with any structure, did that mean all 9 clues or just where the chest sits? Thanks, D. Yes, D. It means the treasure is not hidden in or about a structure. Google structure for more information.
The chest is not hidden in a structure.
I think that's Fenn speak. But
Well,
anyway,
it could
I
be,
actually
yeah.
do believe about the
Oh, I
9.
thought this
But
would
let me go back
switch.
now.
Okay, so Listen Good has a good point. If when you're at where warm waters halt, you're in the right spot. You dip your toe in it and all that fun stuff. You get done skinny dipping because warm means comfortable, right? So you're there. And if there's only one canyon, if it's just obvious that down is a direction, so maybe that is a direction. So let's change it. Let's see if this works out.
Wait.
Oh,
No,
all
we
right, go
agree.
ahead.
Let's
All
keep
right,
it
we'll
just
change it
for
at
a
the
second.
end. We'll
Just
change
for a
it at the end.
second.
Okay.
I think we agree on stanza 2. Where warm waters halt, Canyon Down, and Homa Brown. There are 3. We agree on stanza 2. Maybe
Okay.
it should be 3, 3, and 3, kind of like your 83 is half, so it should be 3, 3, and 3.
Oh, that's a really interesting
Ooh, I
idea.
just made that up, and it
Because
sounds
3
so.
times 3 is 9. So, all right, I like that. Maybe we'll try that
Okay.
out too. Okay.
Okay. So on the second one, I agree with it. Seems like Meek is not, I mean, Meek is something intentional. Nye, okay.
Yeah, is that a clue? I mean, he doesn't tell us where to stop. He just now, unless the word "nigh" is a location. If there's a sign that has the word "nigh" on it, maybe that you know what I mean. Then it's
Yes.
telling you to stop somewhere.
Well, okay. So I'm just going to go with Meek, no paddle. And then let's just, because they are in the same heavy loads and water high, somehow need to be linked together. So
So
because
one
I'm gonna,
clue, not two.
yeah. So Meek,
Okay,
no
let's
paddle,
change
and
that.
heavy loads and water high.
Okay.
That is going to be 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, I'm with you.
Because I don't think
I
there's
like
a so
that. Three and
and then
three. Okay.
3, 3, and then let's do the last one, which will be another 3.
If you've been
Um,
wise and found the blaze.
I think
Now,
the blaze has to be one. There's no
yeah. Oh,
question
yeah.
that it
That's
has
a
to be one.
given. Yeah.
And I think that there's no way that we can't. Terry Scant, it just seems like it
That could
has
be
to
a
be.
clue. Yeah. In
It
other words,
has
if
to.
that does mean a clef in a rock, or there's a definition that when we're there, we're like, oh, that is a clue then. So Terry Scant would be clue 8. What would
Right.
be
And
clue 9?
I'm actually going to link Terry Scant with Marvel Gaze. It's kind of like that, and it puts those
Okay.
together. So I think Terry Scant and Marvel Gaze is going to be 8. And
So
then
then go in peace would be
and
9.
go in peace. And I think peace is somehow related to peace would be the 9. And if you're there, it is there's something obvious about why peace is
Yeah.
important.
I mean,
I
what if
don't
you're
know.
at Peace Road? What if you're going along your trail on the canyon? There's Peace Road and there's the blaze. I mean, it could all make sense, and I really hope it does. That all these things, like a combo lock that turns into place and the door magically opens. I hope so, because if it's not, there's going to be some upset people if somebody finds this thing and comes out with the solution. Forrest says he's thought of everything. He said it took him 15 years. That's really why there's 83 words in 2, 3, and 4, and 83 words in 1, 4, and 5.
Well, I just came up with the 3, 3, and 3.
5
I
and
actually
6.
like I feel pretty strong about WWWH Canyon and Homer Brown and Meek, Paddle, Heavy Loads, Water High. That third stanza. Yes, I saw that. Sledneck, you're just
What? What do you
wrong.
say?
No, you can read it. I'm not
Okay.
repeating it.
I didn't even see it.
You can, um,
Oh,
so
I got you.
if you're wise and let's see.
Well, how I don't see how we're overcomplicating it. We're just saying we think these are the clues. I mean, if somebody wants to say clue 1 is in stanza 1, well, then I'm out because I don't, you know. He was
Well,
talking about himself in stanza 1.
Yeah.
But so another
I'm
thing.
an
Check this out.
operative. I don't even know what that means. I'm being called an operative.
Another little pattern I see here is what if we have a direction with look quickly down, We have a direction with the end is ever drawing nigh. And then we have a direction with canyon down. That's one direction per stanza. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that nice
Yeah, see,
and
I like this whole idea of this
uh-huh.
is where we can't rule anything out. There are
Right.
9 clues, but I think any other, especially noun, we are going to be looking at hints. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why, even though you did it, I think we need to put those back in. Like the first stanza, I think that's what points you to WWWH. And then I think, I do think the last 2 stanzas are legalese and those sorts of things. And again, I could be totally wrong.
Right,
I'm
right.
not saying that we're
I'm
right.
not
We're just throwing out
I'm
ideas.
not saying disregard the 3 stanzas totally. They all could fit in when you're in
Oh
the
no,
right
you
area.
erased
I'm
them.
just saying
You erased them, Mike. You
the
deleted
actual
them.
clues from point to point are the 9 in these 3 stanzas. But I like the idea of a direction in each stanza. That kind of makes it a pattern. Now, as far as the distance, not far but too far to walk. Now, let people say too far to walk. That's 242. You're on route 242. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's possible this could be clue number 2. If that too far to walk makes sense from the canyon down, I mean, that could be clue number 2. And then look at that. We've got a nice pattern here,
See,
don't we?
everything's delayed for me, so you can't just
Oh,
say
okay.
that and
Well, no,
look
you
at
have to
this.
look at Zoom. Instead of YouTube, you got to look at Zoom.
Zoom is just your desktop with nothing, all the little
Oh,
like
oh, and I
sparkly
know why.
things.
All right. I apologize. But look at it this way, everybody. All 150 people that are watching. We have a direction in line 2 of the stanza. We have a direction in line 2 of the stanza. We have a direction in line 2 of the stanza. Do you see the
Ooh.
pattern?
Oh my
Did
gosh,
we
this is
just did we
groundbreaking.
just crack this somehow? Now, of
Oh my
course, if you
gosh.
don't know where warm waters halt, it doesn't matter. But
And make sure to give credit.
right
Sorry, I
now,
couldn't
Forrest
help
Fenn's like, Shiloh, get in here and check this out.
you know what? My Forrest Fenn's going, oh my God, no one's ever going to find
Yeah,
this damn thing.
he's probably laughing his butt off. But yeah, I like that. So canyon down is just if there's only one canyon where warm waters halt, you just go down. In other words, which
Yeah.
way do I have to go? You
No,
go
I like
down.
the
It's a
direction,
direction.
Pete.
Right.
Okay, so William is saying Forrest said read the poem like a map. He didn't say like a legal document. He did say that, but he also said he's thought of everything. And when it comes to all, if there is a legal concern, like so the one reporter asked. So I think it's both at the same time. I am uncomfortable with the idea of throwing out entire stanzas when it comes
Well,
to
okay,
clues.
okay.
But he did say, he has said how many times? Okay, let me ask this to the room. Just answer with a yes or no if you want to, because there's only like 10 people commenting. I think
Mm-hmm.
140 people completely agree with you, Mike. But let me just say this.
Everybody's looking at their
Is
topo map that they got in the mail from us right now.
yeah, I
Oops.
ordered one today.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask this. It just say yes or no in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Is your first clue where warm waters halt or begin at where warm waters halt? Just answer yes or no. I would like to hear that because that will be telling to me if we are listening to Forced Words. I don't know. It'll just help me a little bit. How many of you say, oh, like saying yes or no? No,
Nice.
say yes. Pick
Literal.
one. Pick one. Yes or no. Do you believe where warm waters halt or begin at where warm waters halt is the first clue? And let's give a few seconds for
Now,
maybe.
for the people that are saying no, then what's the first clue? If it's not, if
Well,
I don't
I know
understand where they're
several
getting.
of them believe in the 9 sentence, nine through like the flip side or Sean Dotson's theory.
Which is what?
So
I don't
which is
even
the
know the
nine
theory.
sentences, nine
Oh,
clues.
I got you. Well,
Yeah.
then it's yeah, okay. I mean, that's still. I'm not saying it's not valid. It's possible, but I don't see how the first stanza tells you to go anywhere unless
Yeah,
you're
see,
using it in
this is
conjunction.
interesting to me. There's as many no's as yeses here, even though Forrest has said it many, many times. Now, I
And,
know some people think he's saying it, but he's actually giving a hint in a different way, etc. Some people are saying maybe, some people are saying kind of. Some
mhm.
people, I mean, AJ is just an honest man. He's saying he doesn't
He's
have
the
a clue.
honest one, right?
So, um, yes, because Forrest said so. Okay, so, but I think, okay, this is the interesting part to me. There's as many yeses as nos, and I didn't count them exactly, but there were quite a few nos. So that shows
Mm-hmm.
you, even if Forrest says it, it might
Mm-hmm.
not be the case. So again, he puts this out, and AGK did a show on if he died the day after. He put out the
Right,
book,
right,
and
right,
that,
right.
and we didn't have all these other words and conversations and all of that. We would only have really the poem and the book.
But
I do think it's telling though, because he has said it so many times. where warm waters halt is the first clue.
Right.
I think
You have to
so.
start at the beginning. You have to find where warm waters halt. That's what he's
So
saying.
if any of you have said no and you're willing to say, why do you believe it's not the first clue when Forrest has said it's the first clue? Is there a reason? Do you think he's giving a different hint? Do you think he's tricking us? Do you think, like, what
Right.
is the
Oh, don't
rationale
say that.
when we've heard it? Well, we've just heard it so many times.
Right.
What's the
Right.
rationale? I don't believe it. I believe the first clue is WWWH. That's whether
Mm.
it's in it, where warm waters halt, or where warm waters halt. I believe that. I do believe that. But I'm okay listening. I'm open to, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. And I want to hear your rationale. And I hope it's not Fenn's a liar, because if Fenn's a liar, then how do we know that there is even a treasure chest out there? So that's where I don't know. This one, I feel like there's no Fenn speak in it, but again.
So I'm adding the directions. So take it in the canyon down to me means south or water flow. The end is ever drawing nigh. Nigh means look on the left. And then look quickly down. Your quest to cease is down. So what do we have? We have south, left, down, right? Or down, meaning down, left, down. Okay.
Southeast, south, SES.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's why the
Southeast,
S's
south.
are in there.
Yeah.
That's why it's waters. And that's why, okay, I don't know.
I like the pattern of the direction being in
I
the
do
second
too.
line of
I
each
think it's
verse. I
interesting.
mean, what do people think of this? Because I've never heard anybody come up with this before. Now, if it's out there and somebody posted this somewhere 6 years ago, sorry, I didn't give you credit.
Okay,
But I've never seen this anywhere before.
Tony Driver, I have a really funny story about that. He was saying that I'm a Fenn operative. I had someone believing that I was Forrest Fenn, and I met this, like,
Yeah.
literally on the forums, and I met this person at the Jamie drawing and several times, and this person still was like, "You are Forrest Fenn," on the forums, and I'm like, "But you've met me, like, you've literally sat down and had a drink in a
Forrest
conversation."
tells you
Like,
what you can post. He tells you. He's using you to get his word out, right? Is that the conspiracy theory?
no,
Oh.
someone actually believed like K-Pro
Oh,
on
that's
the
nice.
forums was Forrest Fenn, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but I'm here. This is me, and so
Well,
no,
people believe the first clues in the first stanza, so I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not going to be that bold to
I'm
say
just
that.
giving people a hard time.
Yes, like, I am more likely to believe Forrest because he says it so much. Where warm waters halt is the first clue, but I also cannot discount 9 sentences, 9 clues. I mean, I like that. I just don't. That is not where I naturally go. That's not why I'm seeing it. But hey, I don't have the chest, so there you go. So
yeah, it is
okay.
interesting, huh? All right, well, there it is. I mean, that's what I had.
We
right?
cracked it.
Yeah.
It's all over now.
That was, where warm waters halt? That's the next. I mean, I don't know where they halt.
Where
I don't think
X,
the new
where X marks the spot.
I don't think the New Mexico fishing regulations are it anymore, but I don't know where. In other words, New Mexico fishing regulations there's all over where warm waters halt. This is one physical place. So how do we find it? How do we crack it? I don't know. Anybody else got any ideas?
Well, of course we have to try the wheel, right? That's what.
So yeah. You said your Nez Pierce solve. Where did warm waters halt? Where Chief? What happened? Because I don't know that solve, so I don't know what you were.
Well, I'll roll out the solve, but the first battle of Nez Perce, actually, the battle was the acronyms for the battle, which was renamed later, was WWWH, which was a wildlife habitat, which is the WH part. I can walk through all of it later.
Hang on.
But
yeah,
you can dip your toe in it. And
okay,
so for those of you that think I'm DB Cooper, thank you. I have jumped out of an airplane, I will tell you, but
me too.
I not lately, and I'm not DB. I kind of maybe look like DB. Come on. Okay. 9 clues believe it is possible to end up at.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Where he's gone alone.
So you end up where he's starting. You're ending, yeah, and that makes sense.
And that's why people believed in the Omega piece, because it begins where you end, and it's like you go around. And
and then Forrest quotes, was it Little Gidding, that poem that says, "In the end, they'll never know that where we ended is where we started." I'm paraphrasing, but I believe there's something to a circular argument here. There's some kind of circular thing happening. I just don't see where the first stanza tells us where to go anywhere or a place to stop. I don't see it as a physical 9 clue.
Missouri Dave, Bighorn, that was actually part of the solve as well.
Hear me all and listen good, Bighorn, right?
but not all of the truth. Okay, Jimmy, that's cryptic to me. That sounds interesting, and that's why some people have said when I say where warm waters halt, I need to say begin it because begin it is so important to that. Forrest has actually been quoted in saying where warm waters halt, not just the begin it piece. But it sounds interesting. Maybe there is more to it, and that's why maybe it's so hard. That sounds. It sounds. I mean, he says where warm waters halt is the first clue, but not all of the first clue. You should always quote. You should always tell the truth, but not
What?
all of the truth. That
Oh,
I don't
well,
know. Like
well,
that's the Fenn speak in it. Maybe I don't know.
well.
That
Richard
sounds
Richard says hint of riches new and old is where warm waters halt. Okay, if it is, that's fine. But how does that help us find where warm waters halt? In other words, I don't see how that's a clue that we're supposed to be trying to figure out. We're supposed to figure out where warm waters halt, but I don't know how the first
yeah.
stanza helps us do that. Unless you want to try and say the new and old is, New Mexico, Old Mexico, which means he's telling us the state it's in the first stanza. I don't know.
See, and I'm with Lori James though. Don't discount any words of my poem, and that's why I tend to agree with you. But I need to think differently, and that's why I
Mm,
need to get to the backwards bicycle thing going on in my head because.
mm-hmm.
Even though I want to rule out entire stanzas and just hit delete, I feel like they mean something more than what I'm seeing. And so and I'm the first to say this is where I say I don't have it, but these are just things that I think of and hopefully get your brain going in different ways and you can discount, but just consider it for a second. Before you say no, think about it just for a second. I don't
Well,
know.
I don't discount the other stanzas. I just don't. I haven't been able to figure out how they're clues. Now, if somebody says, "Look," and it makes sense, well, then yeah, I'm on board. But and then when he says you have to, maybe when Forrest Fenn says you have to figure out where warm waters halt, you have to start at the beginning. Maybe once you figure out where warm waters halt, then this first stanza kicks in somehow. Maybe.
Well, so for me, it was gone alone in there when Chief Joseph went to his father's grave with his treasures bold. That was his father. I can keep a secret where there were secrets between them, and there's a whole history to it. And the hint of riches new and old. He now has taken over the tribe. That was the his father used to have it. He now has it, and he's taking it on to this battle. So there was, I mean, when he talks about going in peace at the end, it was a phenomenal solve,
But
and no one likes it.
but
And I'm gonna publish it, and you know what? People
that's
can
Nez
laugh at it.
Pierce.
Yeah.
Oh, because somebody recently emailed me to say Nez Pierce. There's a river, Nez Pierce. That's where warm waters halts, and I didn't understand what they were talking about.
Oh yeah,
So,
I've been there. Yeah, and there's like the trail. Look at
but do you think it's that
TPS.
now, or you're like that's
No,
not correct?
I finally like gave it up.
No.
Out
Well,
of the 9 battles, there's 9 battles. If you didn't know that,
oh
out
yeah.
of the 9 battles, only one of them is in the search state at the right elevation. Happens to be Bighorn, which is right next to Wisdom. I mean, there's
Hmm.
on. I spent 18 months. No, I've let it go. Don't take me back. No, I've been writing it up lately where I'm like, oh, that was so good. But yeah. So anyway, but specialized knowledge, yes. And that's, I shared it with 2 close search friends. And I thought both of them would like call me and say, let's make a run for it. And yes, Lori Jane's Big Hole Battlefield, it's a sad place. No place for the meek. I mean, don't get me started.
Well,
So
couldn't
anyway,
you
but
apply that to any like outlaw that? I mean, isn't there like stories in the 4 states you could apply that to, or it just fits too much with the
well,
Nez
9 battles, and only one was in all of them. And they talked. Well, the second battle was where they massacred people within the canyon, and it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
and that was what it was known for. Yeah, there was a lot of maybe it was confirmation bias, but I like that one. Just like my first one was an Ojo Caliente solve. I love that one. I mean, that's where Forrest used to bathe as a kid. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everyone, any time that you spend more than 6 months, more than 100 hours or 500 hours in any sort of solve, you're doing it because you love that solve. The hardest
Right.
thing is to let it go. I mean,
Right.
I could not, the hardest thing is to let it go, but there's no way I can spend 100 or 150 or 200 trips into the same place. I just have
Mm-hmm.
to pick it apart enough. So what if down is goose down and there's a goose down on Bighorn drawing back in? Okay, I don't.
A goose
That's
town? What?
I don't know. Like,
A
or
goose canyon on Bighorn.
oh, maybe Goose Canyon. Okay. On
I
big
don't know.
corn. Okay, I think he's
The horn clue is not bighorn. Well, we've all got our little opinions on what we
yeah,
think
well,
they
and
are.
I'll walk through that solve just to show you guys, like, here's what I spend a lot of time in. But at the end of the day, I will tell you, Cynthia was one of them that I shared it with, and she was like specialized knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And Follow Me Down was the other one, and there's two things he didn't like about it, and it was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I thought both of them would be like running, and both of them were like, this is nice,
That's how
but
solutions go in treasure hunts. Yeah,
yes. Well, that's where I'm a firm believer. Anybody that is like, someone is going to steal my solve. No,
but
everybody come up with their solve.
I think the majority of searchers could agree, not the order, but that warm water salt, Homa Brown, and the Blaze are 3 of the 9 clues.
Okay, let's ask
Right?
the room that.
Well,
Do you
okay.
believe? Well, because half of them have already said WWWH is
No,
not.
the first
So
clue. No, not. I'm not saying the order. I'm saying that they are
okay,
3 of the 9.
okay,
WWH, the Blaze, Homa Brown. That they are 3 clues, not where it
okay.
starts and where it ends or anything like that.
Yes or no? Do you believe WWWH Canyon and Homer Brown are 3 of the 9 clues? Maybe not in that order, but those are 3 of the 9 clues. Say yes if you believe those are 3 of the 9 clues. Say no if any of those 3 are not in your one of your 9.
Keep it simple. He said to think like a kid. So that's a yes from Joe S. It's a yes from Davio. Hooley, yes. Let's see if there's any no's. I mean, I think the majority of people would say yes.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay,
What
so we
does
have
the Homa Brown mean?
okay, so maybe it's the order, or maybe okay. So that's that. I had assumed from an earlier answer. I obviously
No. Yeah, because we're not saying the order. A lot of people can think the first stanza's got the first clue. They just think where warm water's halt is a clue as well. So
okay. So yes,
now
but
there's
not
a
in that
no from the
order.
chase.
There's a couple
Colin
no.
Webster says no. So a couple no's. So if they
Okay.
don't think those are clues, then I don't know. Everybody's got their own opinion, don't they?
Okay. Yeah. No, and everybody's entitled to it. It is interesting that there's a
the
lot more yeses.
the blaze can't be figured out, so it's not a clue. That's pretty funny. Yeah, try the wheel, Billy Price. I hear you.
Okay.
This will be
What
something if
so?
it is found. I hope the solution comes out so we can all figure out what these things meant.
I think the type of person that finds it is the type of person that can't keep their mouth shut.
That's right. They'll
That
probably
he
go
said
on
something.
YouTube and spill it. All
They
right.
better not. People have said, "Oh, come on your show." It's like, no, let me help you get a really good deal on, get paid, get some. Anyway, there has been some discussions on how much do we think there is after the fact,
Mm-hmm.
for getting if you want to, share your solve. So I will say AGK is doing a show on Friday, with Susie. She's coming on.
Oh,
Susie,
wait,
no,
Susie.
Sassy,
Sassy, yeah.
Sassy.
For the
Sassy.
David Blaine treasure hunt. Yeah, that'll be a good
Yeah,
one. When is
and
that? When
she
are
was
they?
Friday night,
Friday night.
and
Okay.
she was
Tomorrow
sued
night.
what by
3. I
3
thought you
different
said 3
people.
lawsuits. People
Yeah,
who
for
think,
different
oh,
reasons.
that's my solve and you stole it.
Yeah, one thought it was their solve. One thought that the organizer or Blaine, I'm not sure who, if it was Random House or who, kind of was shady.
Look at what Copper Dan just posted.
Gosh.
I was driving while listening to the show. I apparently blew the stop sign at the top of my street, got pulled over in my damn driveway.
Oh, did you work your way out of that,
Tell
Copper Dan,
them,
or you
tell them
got
you're watching K Pro Cow. Tell them we'll send them a map if he lets you go.
Yeah, no. Well, I could be silly. Okay,
All
so
right,
we're a little over. So
1 hour. Yep.
yeah. So the Mindy hunt or the Mindy eBay is over.
Yeah,
So
305, I believe, was the
wait.
final
So
auction.
we are now transitioning to the
Yeah,
other things that are
they
happening
know.
in the
Yeah,
Chase
yeah,
community.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
got off with
Okay.
a warning. See, Copper Dan, he's so
Nah.
nice to give a.
Dan's like, I'm Copper Dan. What are you doing? So we have one thing that's on eBay. We have one thing that's on eBay, and that's the
Okay.
bundle. We have all 3 books and a Forrest Fenn searcher coin, and I'll show that real quick. So that ends Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon at 1:42, and it's at $177.50. So you can get all 3 books and the 2019 coin if you're interested in that. Just letting you know it's there. That's all.
Yeah,
And then
very
what's
cool.
the big news, K-Pro?
Oh, so I think everybody
If
knows
I
it's
can
her, but
find it.
there is
Yeah, I think so. She
coin
posted it.
003. Jamie Jordan has put up coin 003. So it is went up this morning, so it will be finished up by Thursday morning of next week.
Yeah,
I believe it was
early, like 8 a.m. Thursday morning is when it ends.
yeah, for you West Coast people, 8
Right.
a.m.
So I'm going to
Um,
show it right
so
now. Let's
it
see
is
what
up
it's at.
to, it was at $709.
It is still at $709.
Okay, so
So
first day it's at 700.
yeah,
I think the highest coin to ever go was what, 1100?
1100. I think somebody bought a coin in a map, but that was actually one of the silver coins. I think that was silver coin number 2, I
Yeah.
believe.
Okay.
But with a little history, this coin, number 3, was put up by Illinois Ghost on eBay in June of 2018, and it went for $800 in June of
Okay.
2018. So this is a good gauge, I think, to see as the value of the coins going up or going down. So it's
Yeah.
already at 709 on the very first day with 26 bids. So yeah, we'll see. Keep an eye on that, and maybe we'll go live and stream it when it ends Thursday morning. We'll see, but
And if
it
any of
could
you want
go
to,
way up there. We'll see.
because Joel Lewicki said that he was going to do some very advanced analysis with graphs and things. So if any of you want to on Thursday morning get on a panel, and if you haven't watched the last 10 minutes of any of these, there I'm sure it's all eBay auctions. They get crazy, and I have to tell you,
Oh, the auctions,
I
right?
usually try to stay away from these because I always get outbid. I watch out, Copper
Oh, it is
Dan. I'm
coin
looking at
3.
you,
It is
Copper
coin 3. That's
Dan.
pretty huge. So
I know it doesn't come around very often. So I might, last time I bought some maps and did okay. Maybe maybe I need a ring in my ring to like make it
we'll
happen.
see. Should be
So
interesting.
anyway, so okay, so coin 3 is out there.
Speaking of coins, we got a little treasure hunt going on, don't we?
We do.
2019 silver looking coin number 42 and the copper coin 272. We are up to clue number 4. Now, I sent out the email. There is an email list you can get on if you email me and say you want on it. And I even sent that email, but I didn't get it to my inbox, so I'm wondering if anybody
No,
else
I
got it.
didn't.
So
No,
I don't
I
know what
didn't.
happened there, but that's why sometimes you just have to watch the program. So here is clue number 4. Every Monday and every Thursday, we're going to give a clue until somebody finds the proxy item. Somewhere in the continental United States, Cowlazars, what's the proxy item? You'll know it. You'll know exactly what it is when you find it. There will be no question when you find it. So if you find a rock and you go, that kind of looks like a cow, that's not it. You're going to know exactly what it is when you find it. There's going to be no questions. So here is clue number 4. You've battened down the hatches, and now you see the tale of pirates and heroes alike all featured in this jail. You're searching for something with a similar facade. If ye be the first to find it, then surely will applaud. Clue number 4. And I think what I'll
Dun,
do this
dun,
weekend is
dun.
make a video that has the clues in it and release it that way. So we're just trying to get the word out to let people know.
Well, and Jason Northface said, K Pro and Mike are bidding up that coin to get hype up. I want that coin. We should be silent and not let anyone know on it. Logically, it's the opposite. If
Right.
we were the ones that were actually putting it out, I could see that. I don't want anyone bidding on it. I will be open about that.
I
So it
mean,
just doesn't make sense that, but you know what? I do want Jamie to be able to get as much for it. I told her, I messaged her today and said, even though I do want to bid on it, I don't even know if we can afford it. But if we bid on it, but I still want her to get as much as she can for it. She's a great person. She's still rebuilding her whole life. So I think it
right.
would be awesome. So,
We'll see.
um,
We'll see how it goes
and
for her.
Copper Dan says there's something huge going on eBay on Monday. Ooh,
Uh-oh, Copper
dun,
Dan. Do you
dun.
want to give us a little preview of what that might be? Is it
Hmm.
huger than coin number 3? Maybe it is.
Huger. Is it
Huger, yeah.
huger?
Is it bigger than coin number 3? Um, I think coin number 3 needs to come home to where he started. You know what I mean? Come back
Ah!
home. But we'll see. We'll
I
see
don't
what
know about
happens.
that. I don't know about that. Okay, so that's clue number
Oh,
4.
and then speaking of eBay, so there last week we talked about a treasure chest that Chris Jones was going to make, right?
Monday we
Monday
did,
night,
right?
I'm sorry, Monday
Yeah.
night. So we showed the website, which is vanettis.com, but Chris is not ready to show the treasure chest and he's not ready to give a price. So I kind of thought, email him and he'll let you know. I guess he's telling people he's not ready. So he says he's going to make his own video or make a video that has all those details in it, but he's not ready to do that yet. So again, me and K Pro aren't part of this. We were just trying to get the word out. Just like the copper 3 and the coin, we're not part of it, that auction. We're just getting the word out. So email Chris from that website if you have questions, and when Chris is ready, he will release the information on his treasure chest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
And so that's where I think
Yeah,
one thing that
somebody
we
just
like to
asked.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, somebody Anana just asked. When people do have different products and things,
ideas. Yeah,
sometimes they are like, "Oh, that would be super cool," and we talk to it, but we really don't have anything more involved in it.
right. We're
I
not.
do like watching some of the eBay auctions just to see, kind of like Mike said, to gauge, especially with the coins, because
That'll be
like see
interesting to see.
how are they going up and down. So, anyway, Copper Dan saying it's huger. Copper Dan, are you actually going to say anything more than that? Or are you just going to
Are you gonna
tease
make
the
us
heck?
wait till Monday? So is this a thing where we can talk about it on Monday? Or are you gonna let us send us the link so we can put it on the show Monday night, or what?
Or maybe Copper Dan wants to come on the show. Maybe that could be our first panel.
Oh, maybe Copper Dan, maybe. All
Okay.
right, we'll see.
What about the April 20th? You have something going on in Vegas?
Oh, the Las Vegas Forrest Fenn Searcher Meetup. That's right. Saturday, April 20th, which is a week from this Saturday. We're going to do an escape room because escape rooms are fun and it makes you use your brain to figure things out, which is what we all need to do with the poem. So, April 20th, Boulevard Mall right here on Maryland Parkway. Just meet in front of the escape room and then we'll see all who shows up. We'll see what room we're going to do. And if you're like, yeah, I want to meet everybody, but I don't know about an escape room, show up at 3 o'clock and maybe we'll all go have a drink somewhere for the people that show up. So I've heard a couple people that say they're going to be there, but we'll see who shows up. So should be fun. The first, well, actually, the first Forrest Fenn meetup was the World Series of Fenn, but this is just kind of an informal meetup. So
Yeah. Okay. I heard searchers might be coming into town for it. I think that'd be awesome.
yeah, I hope so. That'd be pretty cool. We'll see who shows up. You never know. You never know.
Never
But
know.
maybe I'll live stream it. Maybe you will know. We'll see. We'll see. You never know.
Oh. You know what? That Thursday morning, even though it is kind of early, I think it'd be cool to live stream that and
At
just kind of
8 a.m. I don't know why Jamie ended it at 8 a.m., but we'll see.
you
Yeah,
know what?
maybe
I
we
think
will.
it's probably because it was Jamie's first time. I will say if
Yeah.
anybody has between now I've gotten to know some of these, but if you are getting on eBay for your very first time and selling something that like the coins that you've won or something that you've developed, email Mike. I hate to say that, or email me because there's some things that I've learned. Like it is better for it to end. It goes 1 week. It's better for it to end in the evenings in the area that you want, like 7 p.m. rather than 7 a.m. You just won't
Right.
get that frenzy. So there's some things like that that he can give you kind of like some of those lessons learned. I know some of those lessons learned as well. So anyway, I just say that because there's little things that can help your, get that a little bit of extra when you are trying to sell some items. And again, even though it's an item that Mike and I might want, we are open to telling the community about all of these.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Even though I did say when Jamie put it up on, I think it was Cal's Facebook channel, I said, there's actually a broken link. This isn't an actual real eBay auction. Everyone just go away. Actually, I think I just told
So
them.
it just occurred to me what Jason Northface was trying to say. I think what he was trying to say is that me and you are bidding back and forth to try and make the price go higher. That makes no sense whatsoever. If I want to buy the coin, I don't want her running the price up. And if she wants to buy the coin, she doesn't want me running the price
And
up.
if you
The
know
money
how
goes to Jamie. It's not so that
I
makes
don't
no sense
know
whatsoever.
I don't know how to do that. But
Yeah.
it's these conspiracy theories are really I'm
Yeah.
Forrest Fenn. I'm DB Cooper. If you guys didn't know. And like I've been accused of being like an advanced hacker into people's computers that I don't even understand it. But it it's sexy to have this conspiracy. So it's
Right.
conspiracy. Ooh, okay. William, email
What
me.
else? Anything? Trying to
They
think.
were talking about how to prank you, and I think
Oh, you're not gonna prank me.
function in the junction. People have asked.
Oh yeah.
I will say in the next week or two is when we will come up with a commitment. Well, Cal just needs to commit or not. Someone told me that he needed to be banned from Thor because he is.
Who?
I won't say you
Oh,
needed
me?
to
I
be.
need to be banned from Thor?
Yes,
And I actually
because
want to read something to everybody. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah,
You
so that
reminded me of something. So,
you either need to commit or not. I'm up for
oh,
either
I see.
way, but
All right. I want to read you
everybody.
guys something.
What are you reading us, Mike?
On Dale's blog, Forrest Fenn got mail. I'm sure you've all seen it. Forrest Fenn
Yeah,
gets mail 19, but I'm going to read it real quick. So I'll show it and read
yeah.
it. So the virtue lies in the struggle, not in the prize. Richard Monckton Milnes, whoever that is. The treasure chest is still out there waiting to be found. That's good to know. It is not easy to find, but the fortunate byproducts of searching seem to come from all directions. F. And below that, there is a letter from a David L. and it's about him and his. Well, you know what? I'll just read it real quick because I don't want to get it wrong. So, dear Mr. Fenn, I found your treasure, not the treasure that you hid, but the treasure I found is worth much, much more. Let me explain. Many years ago, I was going through some tough times, struggling through college, 3 jobs, and barely making it. I made a tough decision back then to give up a baby for adoption to a lovely couple. The time flew by as it always does, and 18 years later, I received a message on Facebook from a young man stating that I'm his biological father and that he would like to meet me. After having a lifetime of doubts as to if I did the right thing by giving up my child for adoption, he turned out to be an amazing young man. We finally met and it was wonderful. One evening he called and mentioned your hidden treasure, and we talked about it quite a bit. We finally made the trip out west and spent an entire week getting to know each other and looking for the treasure. And every night we would talk about how we would spend the money if we found it. It was the best week of my life. We found the treasure, Mr. Fenn, only it wasn't the one that you hid. This one is worth far more than anything in your chest. It's getting to spend the rest of my life with my son. We are planning another week now to go and look for your treasure again, and I can't wait. Thank you, Mr. Fenn, David L. So I would agree with that. There is a lot of great byproducts. And one of those is that I met Christy. That's through the whole Forrest Fenn thing. And I met all of you guys that watched the vlog. So I'm going to say right now, I will be in Yellowstone on June 22nd to meet everybody. The
Oh,
only thing that'll keep me going is like something major life event, which could happen to all of us. But I will be there, so let's plan what we're gonna do for that June
we're
22nd.
doing a function in the junction. Okay,
Yeah,
Joel
we'll be
Wiki
there.
and Copper Dan and Cynthia. She's in. She doesn't even know she's in. Okay, we've got to get something. And Sled, I know you have some ideas on if the group gets bigger. Oh, planning shall
Yeah.
begin. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, let's do it. We hope everybody can show up. Everybody is invited. Everybody that was at the World Series
But
of Fenn, what? No,
you
not
know that
everybody's invited? What?
no, you
Oh.
know that's World Series of Poker.
Well, we got to do both. That's all. We got to make time to do both. It's that easy.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
totally deserve this, but we need to talk because
yeah.
I'm going to be playing. So, those of you that don't know, little personal thing, I'm going to play in the World Series of Poker this year. And that was actually one of the conflicts
In
of
Las
figuring
Vegas,
out
which is
in
through the
Las
entire
Vegas.
month of June. So you should be able to do both. Maybe.
Right. But
I hope.
we need to talk now. God, my dance card's full now. Okay. So, that's awesome. So June 22nd, plan on it. You heard it here today. The group's back together. It's going to be awesome.
Yep,
William,
it will be fun.
I saw your message. But I think William, isn't that the weekend you're there? Oh, there is Covert One. I'm hoping
I
he
hope
comes
to see you
too.
there, Covert One. I hope everybody that was at the World Series of Fenn is able to meet out there. We're not going to be
And
playing poker,
more.
but we'll come up with something to have fun. What?
Wait, I will check the laws in that state to see if we can. Why not?
They
Why
even
can't we
have
do a little?
casinos there? Yeah, I don't know, but
No,
we'll
but like a
figure it
little
out.
home game or something.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody's, I don't know the area, so I can't like say. Although the owner of the pizza shop in West Yellowstone, whatever the pizza's called, Rocky Mountain Pizza, I think, he emailed me and said, "Yeah, I own the pizza place. Come on by and say hi."
Oh,
So
hey,
we're
Forrest family. Oh, yes,
the
that's true.
pizza
That's across the
place
street
across the
from
street. Yeah. So I'm gonna go say
Bullwinkle.
hi to him while I'm there for sure.
Hey,
So
Bullwinkles, that's where Forrest family owns that one. I spent many a nights in that and met up with Skip and met up with
so now
some of his
we can do a
family.
vlog on all the boots on the ground gear that I'm gonna buy. I need all the stuff to go boots on the ground, so it should be an interesting weekend out there. If
AJ,
anybody wants to send anything, the address will be down below. If anybody wants to send me anything that I could take on my first boots on the ground in Yellowstone, but I'm going. I'm jumping in a hot spring naked somewhere. I don't know
oh
where,
my
but
God. You just, okay.
you have to.
Well, we're good. Okay.
I'm
So,
gonna ask Forrest where to go, as far as vacation wise, not treasure wise, but just where to go in Yellowstone. Like,
oh, you were just talking about,
okay, I got an idea, and you know how I just come up with these crazy ideas right
oh
while we're
gosh.
live. What about that Saturday we do a fishing trip? Let's all go fishing. I haven't been fishing since I was a kid. So what about everybody rents poles and we go somewhere and we go fishing for like a fishing trip?
That would be awesome because I have not I think I fished once in my entire
Yeah,
life, and that would
exactly. So
be
maybe we need a guide. I don't know, but yeah, maybe that's an idea. If you guys want to do a fishing trip, email KPro and let her know. She'll set the whole thing up.
actually I am totally down for doing something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
just thought,
I would probably need Sled's help to and people that live up in Yellowstone or around Yellowstone.
yeah. What
I'm
about?
totally up for some. And they say that poker is legal there. We're gonna have a night of poker. It's going.
Oh, poker's involved.
It's
Well, all right. Maybe we do fishing in the morning, we do poker in the afternoon, and we all just get drunk at night at whatever bar we're in, and then we all go home Sunday. So that would be awesome. We'll see. We'll see what we can plan, guys, but it's going to be epic, whatever it is.
It is going to be fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So those of you, so put it on your calendars. June, what do we say?
22nd. That's a Saturday,
That's
but
the
I'm sure we'll
Saturday.
be in town Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But the official get together will be Saturday somewhere. We'll figure it out. Cynthia knows the area well, right?
William says Cynthia knows a good
No.
walk to stretch on.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe that's where we, I mean, you were talking about being naked.
You're
I mean,
right.
there
Anybody's
you
birthday
go.
while we're out there? And William Ortiz, are you going to be there on June 22nd? Start letting us know, people, who's actually knows they're going
I
to be there
think
for
William
sure.
said he was already going to be out there. Covert, Joel, Copper Dan, and hopefully Copper Dave, and hopefully Copper Princess, Copper Francis. She is a princess.
Copper
No,
Francis. How about Copper Dave? He needs to come too.
I know. I said
Yeah,
Copper Dave.
oh, okay.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be. It should be a fun trip.
Yeah. So.
K-Pro wants poker to finance her trip.
Yeah, well, and somebody said I need. I think it was AJ that says I need a backer for World Series of Poker.
I thought of that actually. I think I need one too, but
one too. I didn't say I needed one, but but I turned down the conversation. I don't think I. What? Hey, I've taken down. Mike knows. I've taken down a couple tournaments.
Yeah, K-Pro's actually a very good poker player. But if you want to get crazy, what if everybody pitched in to put you in the main event World Series, the $10,000 main event?
You're much better at. I'm good at the small tournaments, but I'm not good at the big tournaments. It would be too shaky. I mean, this is gonna be my
even
first
$1,000 is a lot of money. But yeah, there's smaller ones. We definitely have to get together. And
well, and I'm thinking I want to play in the ladies tournament because they discount
the ladies
it.
only. Yeah.
Yeah, the ladies only. I think that would be fun. So there's a few of them that I'm interested in.
Oh, William will be there. Awesome. Okay. We're going to come up with some games and some events and some fun stuff. So it'll be awesome. I want to see Yellowstone. I don't know about the medicine wheel. Is that like 4 hours from Yellowstone? I don't know if we'll have enough time to do that. But
wait. Are you going to get a boots on the ground up there?
Yeah, I got to come up with a solution now. I got to go.
What? And you're going to like just give up the wheel because it isn't within 4 hours?
I got you. Well, how far is Hegman Lake from West Yellowstone? Oh, that's where I'd like.
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, it's not. Oh, then there we go. Let's go check it out.
Oh, let's dig in Gypsy. I'll contact her and say you're out of the chase now. Give us your solve. And we'll go
there you go. Was it Cynthia got her big solve up there somewhere as well? But she'll have already found the chest by then, so it might be over by then.
She says she might bring
it
to that.
She might
event,
bring it. Okay.
Yeah. So
all right.
She might have it beforehand. But that's awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you, Mike. That was a cute
And what else can we do? We can hide some coins while we're up there for the treasure hunt, or at least come up with locations and ideas. So that'll be awesome too. But don't tell anybody. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. There's only 150 of our friends.
Right.
Yeah. They'll be like, here we go. We drive out and there's like 12 people following.
Right.
So I think we should take probably at least 10 different coins because there's Hebden, then you can go more west. There's Earthquake. I won't name all of the places.
We'll
but Cody, like if you haven't been to McCracken, that's a great place. I mean, there's lots of different places there that if you can't just take a couple days. I'm going to try to convince you to take an extra day or two. And
I mean,
just
if
driving
I go,
from Yellowstone to Cody, that could be so.
It'll be an awesome week or weekend, whatever. So yeah, for sure. But after reading that mail that Forrest got,
Sassy's
I thought,
in the house.
Who is?
Sassy.
How you doing? Oh, Sassy from David Blaine. Oh, how you doing, Sassy?
Moo. She says moo. She was asking, who's the cow you guys are talking about? There he is, right there in the flesh. So that's awesome.
So
and we're excited.
Which searcher are you? Sassy's not on the shirt because Sassy's actually a winner of a real treasure hunt. That's which searcher that Sassy is. She's actually a winner, so we have to add it to the t-shirt.
Yeah, but if I were to guess, and this is just a guess, I would say, so Sassy, we have a shirt of what kind of searcher are you? Mm-hmm. Are you someone that looks at everything, which is kitchen sink Kevin, or your gadget George, where you bring all your gadgets? I think you would be code breaker Charlie.
Yeah, right. Which is like the better one.
The David Blaine one. Yeah, the one there. It's on the bottom left. And then there's Poem Purist Polly that's on the top left. That's Sean Dotson, like just the poem. But that was a fun thing that we did. So, but I would think, because I've heard that David Blaine one, there was a lot of codes and ciphers and stuff
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. It was a
so
lot of codes. Yeah. So
yeah, so
we'll look for you on AGK tomorrow night. That should be a good
yeah,
show.
that's awesome. We're
Right.
excited to watch it and see it. And we'll probably be able to call in and ask questions. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's super fun. Okay, is there any? I mean, how do you top that? Like, I knew Covert
and
one.
and we figured out the 9 clues in the poem, so I'm excited
9
now to go
clues. We
look.
have the directions. We have the clue 333 with a
83
directional on
words, people. 83
83
words.
words. I mean, what else is there? So we just go and pick it up now, right?
That's it. I hope we can show everybody while we're there. We'll see. I just
Okay.
want to know where Warm Waters halts. I don't even if we're wrong. I just want to know like this is it. This actually makes sense. This could be the actual WWH. We'll see. I don't know if it's the right area or not, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah. So we will be back on Monday, and
Yep,
we
Monday
don't have a
night.
topic yet. So if you guys have a
We
topic in
don't.
mind,
Yeah.
throw it out tonight, or throw it email either of us or messenger. And now I'm on Facebook, or go to Thor. Oh, I did want to say contest. I'm going to close the contest tomorrow. So if you have an idea of this is your search year. So this last year's search year, I believe, was the year of the gut feeling. What is, if you were to say what this year's gut feeling would be, what would it be? Right now, we have about 60 submissions. You will get a non numbered silver coin, which are going for a couple $100. So usually on eBay, but it varies depending on when you put it up. So it's just something fun. Literally takes a minute or two. If you're not on Thor, that is where it is posted. We have about, I don't know, 40 or 50 submissions. I put it also on Cowlazars Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and put just, it's that simple. Literally just put, it's the year of, I put the year of the teeth. And there you go. And I still love Jamie's, the year that Jamie Jordan will find the treasure chest. That's all you have to do. It's literally that easy, and then you can win something. So if you are wanting to submit, try to submit by tomorrow. I will take it. I will give it to myself, my son, 3 other searchers. We come up with our top few. We see which ones are repeats. We usually get semifinalists from that. We put it up on Thor, and everybody,
And the
the year of the
prize
phone,
is this
one of those coins.
non-numbered, but you get your very own Forrest Fenn
Yeah,
searcher coin
yeah,
with the poem on
um,
the back.
yeah. So, ooh, Sassy says you will have a topic after Friday's show. Trust me.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Ooh, so maybe
I want
we
to hear about
wait.
these lawsuits or something. So yeah, all right. Well, I'll be
Yeah,
watching. I should be home with the boys by then. So yeah, I'll be watching.
that's awesome.
What time do
That'll
they
be
go on Friday night?
6 o'clock your time.
Okay, so I'll try and get home. I'll miss a little bit of it, but I'll be home for the end. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, and the first 15 minutes or so are usually like we're all getting introduced and all of
Yeah,
our
that's true.
things. So you'll have a few minutes.
Playing
And
sound effects
yeah.
for 20 minutes.
The year of George, I like that.
Maybe George will call in again. Yeah, that's true.
Who's Janet Jordan? Grizzly Bear, Jamie Jordan. She is the searcher who lost her home and
Right.
business last year with the fires. That is how Mike and I met.
That's
We
right.
organized, or we were part of a team that organized, and all the search community came together. We raised about what $59,000+ for her.
Anybody remember
And
this?
yeah, there.
I kept it. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
all the
awesome.
tickets from back then.
There was 1,900 tickets sold. There was about, I don't know,
Yep.
60 items that were donated by various searchers. Forrest donated books and the
Coin
copper
number
number
one.
1
Yeah.
coin.
Yeah.
And then other people donated 2 and
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Ooh, Sassy's the 200 footer. That would be fun. Yeah. So this is cool. I'm so excited for tomorrow night. So,
So Sassy,
so
I'd
yeah.
be interested in what you think of the 9 clues that me and K-Pro went over at the beginning of the video. So when you watch it, email me, cowlazars@gmail.com. I'd just be interested because I know you're in the Forrest Fenn hunt as well. So I'd be interested in what you
Yeah.
thought of our 9 clues.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that was, and now Jamie stayed in the community. She's been a part of the community. She stayed in the community, and she's wonderful. So but she's well, I don't know what she is on all the different forums and things. So she's out there, you'll see her. She's won different contests. She's on Dow. She's on every site. She is one that, oh my gosh, she gets along with everybody, loves everybody, and is the sweetest person ever. Her husband's name is Bill. He doesn't have the bug like we do, but he does search
Right.
with her. Hopefully she's actually organizing Fenbury, which is July 4th weekend. So if you are down in the New Mexico area and interested in getting together with probably 100 of your closest friends, definitely there should be more information out there soon. I think it's already out there of where to find it and all that. So anyway, so let's see. We covered the 9 clues. It's really
Yeah, we
obvious now.
figured it
3,
out.
3, and 3. Line 2 is
And now we're
directional.
going to Yellowstone to retrieve it. So this is going to be pretty simple.
Yes, and we live stream at Bullwinkles, and we say hi to Forrest,
Yeah,
and
we give him,
we
maybe he'll
say
show up and get
hi.
his bracelet back. You never know.
Yeah, Shiloh
Since we're
might just
dreaming
fly
big,
in. Sure,
yeah, why
sure,
not?
yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's that easy. It's amazing. And then maybe somebody will be there and just write us a $10 million check and say, I will take that. And then we
Wow.
cash the check. And, Mike, we go buy an island somewhere. How does that sound? So,
Yeah, sounds good to me. Or we buy Nicolas Cage's house here in Vegas. It's only 6 million, I think.
oh,
Yeah,
only six
only. It's a nice
million.
house
Oh,
though. It's worth it. It's got an elevator in it. Anyway, well,
nice.
thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Hit the thumbs up on the video for those awesome 9 clues and for 83 words. You never heard that before, did you? But it's true.
83.
Count it out yourself. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. Somebody count the letters. I want to know if it's the same number of letters in stanza 2, 3, 4 as it is in 1, 5, 6. Probably not. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll be back Monday night, right?
You guys are fun. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you
See you Monday.
AGK tomorrow night. Check it out.
Yeah.